funny because while I was sipping my first coffee of the day, Mike Gorman was ripping this team a new one, man. Mike Gorman was swearing. He was acting like he didn't like he was on a
boomer
podcast.
rage. We got boomer rage.
No, the real one
with these damn boomers.
He dropped the BS and then he said it again. Like, yeah, because this is like I was like, okay, he's mad. He's mad. Like that's angry Mike. And yeah, he's big mad. And it wasn't just about the Celtics. It was about the two All-Stars. What did you guys make of that? Calling them out, saying that pretty much they care more about their stats than they care about making the team better or making their teammates better, rather.
What do you think, Bobo?
It was fair. Again, I've said through all of this, everybody's warranted a criticism here. Now, I don't think any of these players and actors that we've criticized and blasted at certain times should be thrown out the door, fired, traded, these kind of things. But I, in particular, have eyed Tatum the last few games, and it feels like he is losing trust in the system, in their ability to win these games. I mean, 32 minutes tonight, 1 assist. That's the kind of thing we're talking about, and that's what Gorman was talking about in particular, the assist numbers, the assist rate of this team, the ball movement, the percentage of makes that are coming off assists. I think it was about 40 to like 19 tonight in the end, maybe a couple more because the bench hit a bunch of shots down the stretch. And that honestly probably pumped up their assist numbers as a team, the way that bench played the final 12 minutes. So I don't see the ball movement out of those two. It feels like they're stalking the ball more than ever. I give Brown credit because there's at least downhill action, transition. Again, early in this game, I thought his aggression was needed offensively. But defensively, I don't see what I need to from Brown. And that's half the battle that we're talking about right now. So those two in particular definitely have not set a good standard for this team. But I also think the weight that's been put on them has been particularly unfair with this condensed schedule, with some of the ailments that Brown's gone through. I know Wick mentioned the COVID situation with Tatum that he's had to go through at this point. So I don't look at these guys like some of their harshest critics have said and said they're selfish, they're in it for themselves, they're blowing off this team at this point, because that's not who they've been in the past. I think they're both just going through the first crisis of their careers, frankly, when we look back on it. I mean, 2019 was bad, but there were never any crisis moments until the playoff ending there. And then on top of that, the fatigue, the ailments, the physical wear and tear of the amount of stuff they're being asked to do. So I think there's a larger context to why they're playing the way they are right now. I don't think they've said, screw this, we quit. But it's not good. The results are all the same in the end.
Yeah, I appreciated what Gorman said. I thought there was a lot of truth to it.
From him, the voice was powerful.
From him, from
yeah.
him of all people. I mean, geez, but and he's seen a lot of Celtics basketball. He's seen a lot of good teams and a lot of bad teams, and I think he has a good finger on the pulse of the sort of bones of a team. He doesn't just come out and shoot from the hip. I think he forms a lot of educated opinions, and he probably talks to people and just has a good idea of, where this team is at. And a lot of the stuff he said was true. I mean, yeah, one-on-one, these guys are two of the more talented players. Statistically speaking, you can make they're all-stars. Listen, we talked about a few games ago. We saw a situation where both of them weren't going to make the team, which, of course they did. But a guy like Trae Young was snubbed, right? I mean, a guy like Sabonis, who they're going to see Friday, was snubbed. They made the All-Star team, but they're going up against players who are actually playing like All-Stars and playing like they want to win, not playing just to fill up the stat sheet. And by the way, these guys aren't really necessarily filling up the stat sheet. I mean, they're trying, but the way that they're playing that they're playing right now is horrible. But on the other end, it kind of goes back to, okay, well, who are they playing with out there? When you see Tatum taking 20 shots or Brown taking 20 shots, it's like, who else do you want taking those shots when Kemba sits and Smart's out? There's not a whole lot of other options. Yeah, we want Nesmith to take more than 0 shots like he did against Dallas. But in terms of go-to guys, I think these guys like Tatum and Brown are thinking, well, I'm not necessarily super confident that, player Y over here to my left is going to be in the right position or is going to make the right decision or hit the shot. So I'm going to go ahead and trust myself to do it, for right or wrong. It's not good team basketball, as Mike said, which I totally agree with. And it's why they're losing, because it is a superstar league, but you're only going to go as far as, the depth guys are going to get you. If it's just 2-on-5 out there, it's a numbers game. Obviously you're not talented enough to compete like that. So
right.
It's interesting though.
You are all right. Maybe it's a little too early for this, but it's already there for me. Either one of you starting to think that maybe these two are just having a tough time playing with each other on the same court? I don't know. I think when Kemba's not there, it makes things difficult in the sense that they don't have someone to sort of play off of and open opportunities off the ball, and obviously another scoring threat, another perimeter threat, another player that teams have to go out and defend, and obviously is going to make things easier for two scorers like Jaylen and Jayson. But I don't know, man. I mean, like between Jaylen's post game comments and Jayson's body language, there's some sort of disconnect. And I'm thinking these two need to like just have a sit down, hash it out, and really just on some like grown man shit. You know what I mean? Like just like, listen, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and reel the team in and just really dig into these guys. But do either one of you even envision either one of them doing something like that? It's just not their personality, right? It's just not who they are. So what are we talking about here then? Someone has to do that. And if it's not them, they have to be at least someone that initiates it or is part of that process, because you're the two best players on the team. The team is struggling, under 500. They have to be the ones to wake this team up, and they have to do it in a way that they've never done it before.
Well, that's all goes with leadership. I mean, these guys want to be the leaders, right? I mean, they want, they get the credit when the team's playing well. They got to take the criticism when the team's playing bad, but they can't go up after a loss and no comment the press conference or give, answers that, totally just disregard the question. That's part of being a leadership. You might not like it. You might not want to deal with the media or deal with, everything that comes with being a superstar player, but your team's relying on you on the court and off the court to lead them and set the example. So that's the one thing that I actually thought Jaylen Brown would be a perfect leader because of, I think he's just a strong character, on and off the court. And I see a lot of leadership qualities in him, which is why I've been surprised at some of the way he's handled some of the post game, and some of the way he's looked on the court, like, Bobby mentioned with the defensive side of things. So I am a little surprised to see that. I don't know if they're frustrated with each other, just frustrated with themselves or the situation. I have no reason to believe that they can't play together. I'm not going to go that far. I don't
either. I think it's like, I don't know if they're having trouble with it, and they
better figure it out, because they are going to have to play with each other. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going anywhere, so they better learn to play with each other. I don't know if they're super close friends. I'm not saying they are or they aren't. I don't know.